Hello, welcome to Wild West Garage. My name's Morgan. Just standing in front of the bench here, and there's a few things on the bench there that I'm going to talk about in a second. So, if you've been watching my videos, I hope you've been enjoying them, and thank you for that. And thank you to my 514 subscribers. I'm over that 500 mark. Shooting for 1,000 now. So anyways, the people that have been watching, you might have noticed that I don't have an English wheel in my shop, and I do have an English wheel kit for like a standard full-size conventional English wheel, but I'm not really in the space yet where I haven't decided how I want to build that machine. So today I thought, well, I'm just going to make a mini one. And I've got a few parts on the bench here that I scrounged up. So I'll flip the camera around and show you what I got here and what I'm thinking. So these are just some found items. Now I was thinking of using this for the anvil, I guess they call it. And this is some kind of an idler pulley from an engine for like a timing belt, I guess. And you can see that, I'm trying to remember what this came off of. Let's see, this is hollow, so this was a water passage, like for the upper rad hose, I guess. So what I was thinking is I would cut this off here, just about, a quarter of an inch out from the bearing, and then I'd have to make some kind of a pad here to bolt this onto, and then there'd be an upright here, and then maybe just kick something off just to snub up against this to give it a little support as well out here. Of course, this will have to be have to make it so I can unbolt it all in the event that I ever have to change this bearing, and I don't know where I'd even get it because I don't know what this is for, but I guess I could do some research and find out, and maybe somebody that's watching knows what this is off of. If you do, let me know. So that piece is going to be my main, the anvil, and then I need some and then I need I don't know what they call these, but anyways, I need something with a bit of a radius. So this is another bearing I just found. I think I pulled all this stuff out of a scrap bin, not in the same day necessarily, but this bearing here. So what I've started doing is, you can see there's a bit of a shiny spot, so I'm just holding it in my hand and running a grinder, and I'm just going to try and give this a bit of a radius so that I can use it to flatten stuff out. So anyways, that's what I'm starting out with here as far as the rollers go. And then I got this old piece of, I pulled this out of a scrap bin too, just a piece of 2-inch, quarter-inch wall square tubing. I think that'll be good enough for what I need here. So I'll make the frame out of that. And then I got to come up with some way of adjusting the tension on this wheel here, or depending on if I do a top adjuster or bottom adjuster. So anyways, let's get into it. So I got this more or less the shape I want it now. It's got a bit of a crown to it. It's pretty flat, but for this bearing, I don't think I could get much more out of it. I don't want to grind it down too much on the shoulder because it'll just end up cutting the side of it, this bearing right off. And I could probably go a little bit more, but so anyways, I thought I was filming all that on the time lapse, but I guess I forgot to push the button. So I want to polish this. I was using an 80 grit disc to do this, so I want to polish it a bit more. Sorry, I was using a 60. So I've thrown an 80 on there now, an old worn out one, so I'm going to see if I can get this polished a little bit. Just, you know, 60 grit scratches in it, so you want this as smooth as you can get it, I guess. You know, I guess if I get it up to like a 200 grit finish, that'll be good enough. That's as much as I do metal finishing anyways. So I'll throw it back on the grinding machine and show you how I did that. So hopefully you got the idea what I was doing there. So there's still some, what I would call, fairly heavy scratches in this, but I'm not going to get too worked up about it because I usually only finish my work, my sheet metal work, to about 80 grit anyway. I might go over it with a DA with some 180 or something, just to get it a little nicer, but this is a hunk of 200 grit. So if I can get this looking half decent, I'm just going to run with it. Anyways, I think it's going to be fine for what I'm doing. Well, I'm not doing anything yet because I don't know if this is even going to work, but yeah, I think it'll be okay. So I'll just, if I can figure out a way to spin this and hold some sandpaper up against it, that would be nice. But anyways, I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. It will mark up the metal, but everything I do marks up the metal, so that's just normal. So actually that'll be on the back side probably most of the time anyways, and this is really quite smooth, this guy. So there's a little bit of marking on it from rust or whatever. So I think we'll be good. So now I've got to come up with a way of holding this. So I guess I'll have to machine a little, like a shaft with shoulders on it, so I can mount it in a holder. So that'll be the next thing I do, I guess. So here's the frame all tacked up. I just wanted to point out one thing here. You see I got some pretty wide gaps on my fit up, and I did that for a reason. The reason being is I'm just welding this together with a 110 wire feed. My little, I guess it's a what is it? It's a Miller 130. So I did bevel the ends of the tubing, and then when I put everything together, I also stuck these in between these old pieces of zip disc, and just to hold the gap. And so now I'm going to get good penetration down inside there. So I just got this all tacked together, and I made a plate for the upper wheel, so that'll get welded on there, like kind of like that. Somehow I got to make sure I get it square with the world, so I'm not going to go ahead and weld that on just yet. Looks like I'll have to do a little adjustment on the end of this tube. But anyways, that's where that's going to go, like that. And then I got to figure out, I guess the most complicated part of this is going to be the slide and the adjuster. I actually didn't end up using this piece I'm going to show you, but it gives you an idea what you can look for if you're scrounging for parts. There's a vise here. I'm going to use that screw. I'm going to use this nut as well. And then I'll just leave this end on here for the adjuster. That'll work fine. Okay, I got it all welded up. And the reason I got it positioned like this is because these are my two best welds, so I wanted to make sure everybody saw those and not the, you know, not so good welds. Keep them in the shadows. Anyways, it went together and I think it's pretty square or lined up. Just gotta put my glasses on so I can see. So yeah, it's looks like it's all in one plane, which is good. That's what you want. I don't know. I think it's kind of a neat shape, I guess. Didn't really give it a whole lot of thought. Didn't have a plan. Just started cutting and eyeballing. So that'll be it for this installment. Well, I guess not. I'm not going anywhere, but for today, it's going to be a 2-day video. So I'll see you in a second, but it'll be tomorrow. So this is a hunk of shafting I had in the lathe. This is what I turned out of it. So this piece goes inside of here. Yeah, it's just a press fit. So earlier in the video I called this part the anvil, I think. But anyways, that's just the top roller. And these, the pieces with the radius shapes, parts that do the shaping, they are the anvils. So anyways, I stand corrected. So here is the saddle. This part's going to go into. So, and this hunk of spur tubing is also going to become part of the machine. This happens to work out perfectly for what I'm doing here to get this set up. So it's time to weld. I just found a couple of sockets. This goes inside of this one, so that'll support the inner race. And this is smaller than the outside diameter of the, whatever you want to call this, the pin. We'll just see if it goes in, hopefully. Tight squeeze. Wow. It is going. I do have a press, but it's outside. I'm gonna go press this. There we go. Even took quite a bit of effort with the press. That's a good tight fit. I guess that's good. So there we go. There's the saddle and the one and only anvil. Woo, all set up. Okay, I'm kind of a design it in my head kind of guy. So So far, all of this has just come out of my head. I didn't have a plan. I just looked at pictures of different machines on the internet. You know, just started building the thing. So, so now I've got this. I've got the saddle here. I've got this piece of, I guess it's 1.5 inch tubing. I'm gonna have to do something to keep this from wobbling around. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drill a couple of holes in the side of this, like right on the corner, and weld a couple of nuts on there, and then I can use a bolt, and it'll just shove it into the corner. So I'm not going to talk about that much more, but anyways, this is where I'm at with this thing now. So see that line there? So it's this thing is too high. So yeah, I think, yeah, no, I'm not going to get away with even, oh, it might actually. Yeah, if I just cut this off here, and it'll come down low enough. But I want to make this bolt on to the frame, just because if I don't get it quite lined up right, then I can shim it. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now, exactly what I got to do here. So anyways, I'll get to it. Okay, so here's this brass thing. It's really hot. Cool it off a little bit. So it'll go in here like that, drop down in there. This goes on top of it. And then the screw will go in there. You can see the brass down in there. So I've got the holes drilled in here. Hopefully they line up, but these holes, these are drilled and tapped on this part. So I haven't tried it yet. So I'm gonna throw the camera back up here and put it together. Realize you gotta have this in here. I won't be able to get it in. Uh-oh. I have to cut some more off the stem. That much more. It's right up against the wheel. Okay, I'll be back. I think this thing's turning out pretty nice. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it looks like it's gonna work. I think it's lined up pretty good. Now I just got to put a screw in it. I have an English wheel. I think. Looks like an English wheel. Well, I'm gonna have to find another bearing for the bottom, but let's put this thing onto the bench here and see if it'll do something English wheelie. Few lumps in there. See if it'll smooth that out. There we go. Need a better mount. Yeah. It's like driving with the wheels steering at the back of the vehicle. So, smoothed it all out. Maybe I got it too tight. It's really cracking. It's crowning it up. Let's just, I'm going to try it down on this end where there's not much shape yet. Let's see what it does. So I've greatly reduced the pressure now. I'm going to crown that up. It's an English wheel. It's English wheeling. Took out all those lumps. Nice. So now it's going to come up with a better mount. Put some feet on this thing and bolt it to the bench. Yeah, it's really not usable with that lumpy anvil bearing. Anyways, proof of concept. There you go. Good night. So just to recap everything here, tubing. Buddy of mine had a bunch of it left over from a project. It's just lying on the ground, rusting, as you can see. So he gave it all to me. The upper hammer wheel, don't know where I got it. It's some kind of a water neck, idler pulley combination thing. Appears to be off a fairly big engine because of the width of it. Looks like it was never used. There was no marks on this at all, like where a belt could have been running on it. So it's a brand new part. Is what it is. And then this crappy bearing that I used for the lower anvil. Obviously, this is why it was thrown out, because it's coggy. These were just bits that I had laying around. There's another one down there. I'm not sure what I cut them out for, but I ended up not using them, so they were really, I guess you could say, scrap. Probably didn't pay anything for this material to begin with. I probably scrounged it somewhere, like I always do. This stem was laying behind my house garage, and so who knows how long it's been laying there. My family's lived at this location for 45 years. My dad built the house, so it was probably something that I threw down there years ago. I had a bunch of little scraps of metal back there at some point, so just left over from something. This is another part of this tube. Of course, the nuts and bolts, maybe $3 or $4 worth of nuts and bolts. That hunk of brass that I put inside here came out of a slide from a machine that I used to work on in one of my last jobs. The all thread was left over from a project that I did years ago. So I mean, I paid money for that, of course, but that stuff's cheap. So basically, you know, everything's kind of like, it was kind of a free. All the materials were free. I didn't have to go to town to buy anything for it to get going on this project. It was all stuff I had. I don't think I've missed anything here. So anyways, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some mounting tabs on here so I can screw it down to the bench. And I've got some wheels, like machine wheels and I know I have a big enough one that I can put on here to run that. So anyways, that's as far as I'm going to go with this video. I think it's going to be long enough as it is. And so you're going to see me using this machine in some of my upcoming videos. And probably the next thing will be me making this cab corner here. So I wanted to try doing it a little differently than I did the other one, just so I can learn, you can learn. We're all going to school on this stuff. So anyways, yeah, thanks for watching this one, and I hope this inspires somebody to go out there and spend, you know, a couple days building an English wheel. It's not that hard. It's pretty basic, and I really think this is the way to go. Unless you can find some tubing that fits really good, but rather than putting a whole bunch of these on, I've seen similar things like this where they have like a bolt, like one here, one here, one here, one here, so they can adjust whatever. I guess if you did that, you could adjust where this lands, right? But you know. I think this is really the way to do it, personally. If I needed to adjust this, I could just shim it where I bolted it on. And same as here, I could shim this if I needed to. It isn't tracking right in the middle. You can see that line that's made, but I don't think that matters. You know, it's the metal doesn't know it's not tracking in the middle, so I'm not going to worry about it. You know, if I wanted to track in the middle, I could probably just flip it around in there. So anyways, like I said, thanks for watching. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.